Okay, starting on number 14. Everybody look at 14. So the graph that's given is this one. And it says it's a negative 1/4. So the negative turns it upside down, so that's good. And what does the 1/4 do? It compresses so it gets fat, right? So if it wants to know if it took away the 1/4, what would happen to this? It wants to know this one. Y equals negative x squared plus 9. So first of all, what is the k value? The vertex gets pulled up to what value? 9. And so is the final answer going to be skinnier or fatter? Skinnier. So why is it, the answer is C. Why is it not D? It doesn't go to 9, and why is it not A? It doesn't go to 9, does it? Okay? So that's how you're going to have to eliminate. This one, the second one had to be skinnier, and it had to go to 9. It starts compressed, so it's already fat. Yeah. All right. If y'all cannot factor by now, okay. All right, I have my friend Mikey back here telling me the answers weren't here. Because it's, yeah, it was. No, he didn't. He's like, the answers aren't there. It's 10 and 3. Where are they? So look, shh. The reason the 10 and 3 aren't there, this is correct. For the 10 and, it's not even 10 and 3. It's 15 and 2. Oh my gosh. And the reason the 15 and 2 aren't there is what is the leading coefficient? And there's only one choice with the 5x minus 2, by the way. Okay, 4 to the x, first of all, that's exponential, right? Exponential goes through what point? 0, 1, right? No matter what the base is, they all go through 0, 1. And now, boys, the x plus 3. The plus 3 is with the x, so it's an x shift. But our x's lie, so we're not moving 3 to the right, we are moving 3 to the left. So which answer do you get? C is correct. Okay, to slide the graph of the equation, y equals 3 to the x, 2 units left. So I'm shifting 2 units to the left. It's a big fat liar. So it either has to be C or D, right? Because that's the only one that has the 2 with the x. And the minus 2, that's not lying, so it has to be C. And plus minus 2, what does that minus 2 do? It moves it down. It didn't say anything about moving it down. Number 19, before I can do this, I have to divide by 3. So I get 27 to the x equals 1/3. I want common bases, so 27 is 3 to the 3rd, which gives me 3 to the 3x equals 3 to the negative 1. Bases are the same. You can set the exponents equal to each other. So x is a negative 1/3, which I get D. So number 20 is going to be the same thing. Common bases. 27 is 3 to the 3rd. And 9 is 3 to the second. So when I multiply, I'm going to get 9x minus 3 equals 10x minus 14 thirds. What do I do next, Xavier? I got a what?
The negative 3 to the denominator of 3. No, the negative 3 right next to the 9x. Yeah, you do negative 9 over 3. So
Oh, you put them in common denominator. Yes, sorry. So he changed this 3 to a common denominator. So it's negative 9 thirds. So when you subtract the 9x, you get 1x on this side. When you add the 14 thirds, you end up with what? 5 thirds. Is it positive or negative? Positive, so it's C. Okay, what do I do on 21?
do the circle. 6.
You got to do the circle thing. That's exactly right. So 16 to the negative 3 halves equals x. So before I do anything, so the 2 is on the bottom, and that means square root, right? So what's the square root of 16? 4. So I really have 4 to the negative 3, and 4 to the third is 64, and I have to put it on the bottom. So you always want to, if you can make this number smaller, right, that's easier to deal with. So take the square root of 16, gave me 4. 4 to the third is 4 times 4, which is 16, times 3 is 64. And then move it to the bottom. Okay, 22 is super hard. Pi over 3 is how many degrees, my friends? 60 times 11? 660. So, okay, so did y'all hear that? 315 has a 5. We only have one with a 5. It's 45. So I know it's pi over 4 times how much?
7.
Times 7. So it's A. So even if you were guessing, right? Even if you're guessing it can't be C or D, and you can eliminate it down to A and B, and you got a 50-50 shot if you don't want to do it, right? What? Why would we know? Well, most of us would know that if it ends in 5, it has to be 45, which is pi over 4. Those of us that actually learned the little hand trick, everything else ends in zeros. And I would make fun of you if you picked the one with the 8 or the one with the 3. I'm going to get a Grouch hat. I need a Grinch hat. Okay, again, pi over 3 is how many degrees? 60 times 8? 480. Okay, the cosine of pi over 3. So pi over 3 is 60. Is the cosine the top or the bottom? It's the top. So it's a half. Oh, I'm so sad. Okay, pi over 3. So this is, I want the sine of pi over 3 over the cosine of pi over 3. So this time it's the square root of 3 over 2 divided by a half. And when I flip, A. In the diagram of the unit circle, what is the sign of theta? What is the sign of 60? Square root of 3 over 2. Okay, I do want to give you one more. Hang on. All right, so this is the only, there's one workout problem on the test, and this is what it's going to look like. And first of all, if it gives you a point like this, negative 3, 1, so that's my x and y value. Is that on the unit circle? It's not. And so that tells me then negative 3 is the x, so this is negative 3, and the y goes up because it's positive. So it's 1. So I have to find the r. So I do 1 squared plus negative 3 squared equals r squared. So I'd get 1 plus 9 would give me 10. So my r is the square root on both sides. So r is the square root of 10. So I want the secant and the cosecant. So the secant is going to be which value? It's going to give you it goes with the cosine, right? So it's going to be x over r. So the secant is going to be negative 3 over the square root of 10. And can I leave the square root of 10 on the bottom? You can, but you're going to get it wrong. So I'm going to have negative 3 square roots of 10 over 10. And the cosecant would be the 1 over the square root of 10. And if I rationalize, I'm going to get the square root of 10 over 10. And that's it. And that's the only problem you have to work out.